Question 2. How can I center an element in the center of my screen? Centering elements has always been a bit of a rough point for web developers, especially vertically centering. But Bootstrap makes it pretty easy. So I'll show you what I think is probably the simplest solution to that, as well as the least amount of actual coding and tweaking and different CSS things that you'll have to add. Let's take a look at the code. So you can see here, I have two style sheets. I've included bootstrap.css, of course. That implements all of the Bootstrap framework, as well as my own example 1 CSS here. And if you're going to be using Bootstrap, this is essentially the way that you'll want to do it. The reason I did it first Bootstrap and then my own is that we'll include the Bootstrap and all the different classes that come with it. And then after that, the code will look at mine. So essentially, if I want to overload any of the built-in Bootstrap classes or add little different features or tweaks to them, they'll get overridden with my own code. So first, let's see how to horizontally center things. Essentially, I've just created a class called row here. That is a Bootstrap standard, and I want to center it. So I give it the class of center block. Now this is something that was recently added in Bootstrap and is pretty much done for you. So you can see it's just this text content here that is horizontal center. So let's take a look at the CSS that makes this work. So you can see this is my center block CSS. Essentially, this will target that one little div and change it to be in the center. And most of it's done for you by Bootstrap. But basically, we have to add the float none element, and that will make it work. You can add these other lines of code. It'll make it look a little bit cleaner and ensure that you're actually horizontally centered. But this will work. So let's take a look at what that looks like. So you can see that we have this text in the horizontal center of our screen. Now you can see here vertical center, which is in the vertical center of our screen. How did we do that? Let's take a look. So you can see here it's just another div with the text content vertical center in the middle. And the way we did this is using something called a flexbox, which is something that was recently added as well to the newest version of Bootstrap. Now the flexbox is taken care of pretty much almost entirely. So you'll want to use this container and add the dflex h100 classes to it. And that will ultimately help you vertically center your content. And essentially just use these two lines of code and this will vertically center your content. Now that's all well and good. We can center something vertically and we can center something horizontally. But what if we want to do both? What if we want something in the true center of our screen? Well, it's as simple as combining these two elements. So let's just get rid of this, because we don't really need it anymore. We only need one. And we'll just add the center block class to our vertical center, and we'll call this true center. So we'll save it and take a look at that. We now have text or whatever content you would want in the true center of the screen. This can be really helpful if you're trying to design something that you really want someone to see, or like a modal that'll pop up right in the center of the screen. And that's how you can center something any way you look at it. You want something centered vertically or something centered horizontally, you can do both. And relatively easily too. Truly, 2017 is a magical year where we can center things vertically and not really have to worry about too much code.